Hello, I'm CJ Wellerman, and today we reveal how Jewish comedians are helping turn the Western world against Israel. But first, please remember to like and subscribe to our program. Now let's get into it. Future historians will be most unkind to famous Jewish American comics Amy Schumer, Chelsea Handler, and Jerry Seinfeld. Because in the midst of the 21st century's most lethal and unforgiving genocide, they use their giant platforms to defend the perpetrators. They will defend Israel to the death no matter what, no matter how evil, for the simple reason they are Jewish and brainwashed by Zionist propaganda. So this is me giving a loud shout out to Jewish American comics, who have lost friends and career opportunities for speaking out in support of Palestine. I mean, take Adam Friedland for instance. He recently explained how Israel's effort to brainwash him during his birthright trip to the Jewish state backfired.
So this was 18 years ago. It was before the election of Hamas. They pulled out, and then they took us to the West Bank. Like the last month I was there, and I realized that I was like, oh, this is the wrong side of history. And I saw, like, you look down at the Arab village that was underneath where this settlement was, and you see how these people are living under constant surveillance, and they're being meaned and dehumanized. And then you see these guys like building these tract houses like they live in County, you know, in the middle of like this political reality, which is brutal and like inhumane, and I lost it then.
Another Jewish comedian, and please forgive me for not finding his name, explains to his audience how Israel has weaponized allegations of anti-Semitism to silence pro-Palestinian supporters.
Jewish on my mom's side, Italian on my dad's side. I'm part of a secret group that runs the world's plumbing. That's an example of an anti-Semitic joke. And I bring that up because that's what anti-Semitism used to mean. It used to mean you'd say, oh, Jews think they run the banks, they run Hollywood, they're all cheap, they all have big noses. But then something changed. Something changed, and now anti-Semitism seems to mean criticizing Israel in any way, shape, or form, which feels different. I mean, now if you say something like, oh, I think Israel should stop bombing innocent civilians, some people are like, that's a stereotype. Not all Jews shouldn't bomb innocent civilians.
Comedy is an effective means for bringing attention to where it's needed most, or shining a light on issues the news media has ignored or overlooked. Take the powerful Israeli lobby, for instance. Most commentators focus on the way it weaponizes its vast amounts of money against Palestine in the US political arena. But too little attention has been given to the manner in which the Zionist lobby pressures, harasses, and threatens American journalists into silence. That is until Jon Stewart, a Jewish American, delivered a powerful sketch illustrating exactly that.
We'll start tonight in the Middle East, where Israel... What? Israel isn't supposed to defend itself?
Oh, yeah, if Mexico bombed Texas, will we exercise
What other country is held to the same standard as Israel?
People that want to destroy
our terrorists? 4,000-year claim.
It's the only democracy in the Middle East, you claim!
Self-hating Jew?
That was weird. Anyway, what I was saying was last Thursday saw the start of a new ground offensive launched by Israel.
Oh, Tradition! Tradition!
Holy look,
Famous pro-Palestine comics have publicly expressed their frustration towards peers who remained silent during the Gaza genocide, accusing them of moral cowardice and shameless hypocrisy. Now, watch Irish comedian Ty Hickey call them out for hiding behind pitiful excuses.
A lot of people have been asking me, how on earth do I stay silent nearly 16 months into a live stream genocide? Without further ado, here are my top tips on how best to look the other way. Number 1, say, I just don't know enough about Israel and Palestine to comment. You've been posting authoritatively about the geopolitical history of Ukraine and its valorous resistance for 3 years, but Pakistan? Beats me. Number 2, post things like, pray for peace, This essentially means nothing. It's kind of like saying, bleh for bleh. It'll make you look like you care, though. And it frames the genocide as if it's just two warring sides who need to stop fighting and talk, as opposed one ethno-nationalist psycho-state attempting to annihilate the other one with the full military, financial and diplomatic support of the world's great powers. Tree! Just say your page is a safe space for you and your followers to mind your minds. The Mideast is just too depressing and heartbreaking to take. The best thing we can all do now for our well-being at this crazy time in the world is to watch me go all loco and goofy in my paid partnership videos with McDonald's and Starbucks. And my personal favourite, say things like, okay, I mightn't be posting about it, but I'm doing my little bit for Palestine behind the scenes, I can tell you. Now, people might come back with, you're an influencer, you barely take behind the scenes. Why are you being all coy about a genocide? That's like saying, I'm doing my little bit behind the scenes for Auschwitz.
If karma is a real thing, and I believe it is, then those who remain silent, Israel murdered 100,000 Palestinians. They will face some seriously tough questions from their future children, as explained by Indian comic Danny Fernandez.
And then eventually you'll meet somebody, you'll fall in love, you'll get married, you'll have kids. And as these kids get a little older, you'll buy them a mobile phone, because you need help with the parenting. And then when that happens, all the videos that you've been ignoring all these years will be there. They're still there, waiting to be discovered. And you know how children are when it comes to watching things they're not supposed to. Right? They're going to switch on their phones, log onto the Wi-Fi, and all these videos will show up on their phone and they will watch them and they're like, oh my God, what the f***? And they will see the timestamps and they're like, hey, this happened recently. My parents were around. Let me ask them about this. And they will come home and they're going to have so many questions. Right? And if you think Gen Z is annoying, wait till Gen Beta starts talking. Right? They're going to come home. They're like, Mom, look at this. Look at this. Look at this. All these children, they look just like me. All lying next to each other. They're all dead. Look at this other one. This girl, she was just 5 years old. She was in a car all by herself. No threat to anyone. They still killed her. Look at this one. 19 years old. He was donating blood in a hospital. And he burned to death. What were you doing? Mom? Dad? What were you doing when this happened? And you know the number one rule to parenting? Always tell your children the truth. Right? So when they ask you these questions, you have to be honest with them. You'll be like, well, son, when all of this was happening, the influencers I was following, they were all telling us how I could get ready with them. Don't do that to yourself, guys. Like, don't put yourself through this. Don't put yourself through the humiliation and embarrassment of watching your children lose respect for you because you turned a blind eye when children were being murdered.
Palestinian-American comic Sammy Obeid says making jokes about Israel has helped his audiences process the mass slaughter in Gaza, while also giving them tools to help counter anti-Palestinian narratives. He has also demonstrated how comedy humanizes Palestinians and dispels Zionist tropes.
I love being Palestinian. I do. I love being Palestinian because it's the one identity that you bring up and is instantly controversial. I'm edgy. I told the guy I was Palestinian. He was like, oh, Palestine, that's a made-up country. I was like, what? He was like, Palestine, that's a made-up country. I was like, I heard you the first time. He's like, yeah, well, I heard it's made up. I'm like, yeah, like any country?
Gotcha.
What country is not made the f*** up? That's how you get countries. You make them up. It's very easy. Step 1, you make up a name. Step 2, you pick a jingle and a dance. Step 3, you pick out colors for your flag. And if you can't wave that flag in certain places, you find a fruit that resembles those colors. You put it on social media.
Indian comic Sandeep Bhardwaj makes a mockery of Zionists who claim the Bible grants Jewish European settlers a divine right to Palestinian land.
You know, I was thinking of putting a Palestinian flag outside my house, but I got scared. I'm not that brave, because you know what that Palestinian flag stands for. If I put that Palestinian flag outside my house, it means that my house was promised to the Israelis. 3,500 years ago, okay? If you're wondering how that works logically, you're Hamas.
Jewish American comic Judah Friedlander starred in the NBC hit sitcom 30 Rock, alongside Hollywood heavyweights Tina Fey and Alec Baldwin. He too makes fun of the Greater Israel Project and its criminal settler colonial enterprise.
Where? Israel. Cool. Where in Palestine are you from? Any other country? Where?
Here, Israel.
Where in Israel?
Right here.
Yeah. I could. This is not Israel here. So I'm from right here in Israel. Wow, no wonder why there's so much conflict with Palestine. Like, yeah, everywhere we go is Israel. Doesn't matter. We build settlements down here. Yeah, that's Israel. We take a plane to New York. Hey, that's Israel too. Okay? Wherever we go, in Israel. Okay.
One of the best things about a comedy show is when you get to see skilled comics run circles around hecklers in the audience. Here, Paul Curry, a British comic, deserves special praise for ejecting a pro-Israel supporter during his performance in London last year. He removed the audience member after yelling obscenities at Curry as he proudly waved the Palestinian flag on stage. Paul Curry is a legend, and his friend and colleague Patrick Spicer gives a masterclass in engaging with Israelis in the audience.
And you, my man, what do you do?
I'm an investigator.
You're an investigator? What kind? Like for the police?
Like war crimes investigator.
You're a war crimes... Is that true? Is that true? Oh my God. Jeez, we really went up a notch, didn't we? Until then, it was just all fun, like, oh, first day in the front row. And you're like, I'm here to investigate war crimes. What are you working on at the moment? What's your...
Ukraine.
Ukraine. You're working on investigating war crimes in Ukraine. F*** you, man. I thought when you said infrastructure, it was like going to kill the energy, but you came to win. I like it. And are you from the UK?
No.
No, where are you from?
From Israel.
You're from Israel? Great. Oh my God. Jesus Christ. Of all the places you could have said, you're a war crimes investigator from Israel looking at Ukraine. I think the call may be coming from inside the house.
Legendary comedian Dave Chappelle has long been a champion of the Palestinian cause. During a recent appearance on Saturday Night Live, he praised the late President Jimmy Carter for humanizing the Palestinians while urging Americans to do better.
I was in the Middle East years ago. After I quit my show, I was trying to find out what I wanted to do with my life. And while I was there, Jimmy Carter flew to Israel. So everybody in the region was talking about a former American president being in the Middle East. And while he was in Israel, a book of his was released, and its title was very controversial in Israel. And the title of the book was Palestine, Peace, Not Apartheid. And people were very mad in Israel. There was a lot of mean stories that came out in the paper, but some people were supportive. And while he was there, Jimmy Carter said, I want to go to the Palestinian territory. And the Israeli government said it's too dangerous. And if you go, we cannot protect you. And man, Jimmy Carter went anyway. I will never forget the images of a former American president walking with little to no security while thousands of Palestinians were cheering him on. And when I saw that picture, it brought tears to my eyes. I said, I don't know if that's a good president, but that right there, I am sure, is a great man. It made me feel very proud. Please do better next time. Please, all of us, do better next time. Do not forget your humanity, and please have empathy for displaced people, whether they're in the Palisades or Palestine. Thank you very much, and good night.
Ultimately, comedy is just one of many tools that will help broaden the coalition of global support against Israel. Comedy helped bring down the apartheid South African regime, so never underestimate the power of laughter to also sweep Israel into the dustbin of history. But that's my time for today. Please don't forget to subscribe to this channel, and we kindly ask you please support our effort to expose and confront injustices in the Muslim world by becoming a member of this show at patreon.com/CJWerleman. We can't produce, sustain and grow this show without your help, and we offer exclusive benefits to those who do. But for now, good night, good morning, wherever you are, and stay blessed.